Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. Okay. Although I'm familiar with the Epstein unaliving and some details with it, it's been back in the news recently with the Department of Justice releasing what they termed as the raw footage of the camera outside of Epstein's prison cell. And showing that nobody came or went to Epstein's cell, so he committed suicide. And that's what you need to conclude. It was brought out that, or put forward that there are some discrepancies. First off, the camera itself, only one camera was working in that area, and it has a very limited view of like a foyer underneath Epstein's cell. It's not like there's a camera outside Epstein's cell. It's looking at an area, and you can see partially see a staircase that leads up to the level where Epstein's cell was. It was pointed out, at least in one of the videos I watched, that there's a blind spot in that camera where somebody could potentially get up that staircase and be unseen, because only partial part of the staircase is seen. A second part was when the video itself was analyzed, what they call the metadata, they found discrepancies with the metadata that would indicate that the footage was manipulated in some way. It was not stated how it was manipulated or why, if it was, but that it's not truly raw, uncut footage. It's been tampered with. We don't know what the tampering was. It could be something innocuous. It may not be. But to represent it as raw footage is not correct. Third is that there was a 1 minute timestamp leap right around midnight, I think is what they were saying. And this was explained away like, well, yeah, they do a camera reset every night at that time. And that's normal, and other videos would show that. But we've never seen those other videos being released to show that. It also doesn't make sense to me. Why would there be a loop that has a 1 minute downtime? Not saying it doesn't happen. It just doesn't make sense to me. And then there's the hot little rumor that, well, the FBI actually has, or intelligence agencies has a video without that minute missing. That might be a little hard to explain. And now in this Yahoo article here, I think it's from the Daily Beast, they also see a mysterious orange shape recorded ascending the stairs where Epstein's cell was located on the night where he died. The Office of Inspector General said they thought it was a corrections officer carrying up linen or inmate clothing up those stairs. A retired New York Police Department sergeant and forensic expert who looked at that disagreed. They thought it was more likely an inmate going up those stairs. So, a lot of questions. And again, 2 guards fell asleep that night. The cameras weren't working. This is just, when you're talking about somebody of the magnitude of Jeffrey Epstein, these are inexcusable things to have happen. Just saying. It's way more believable that things were staged than it is just a comedy of errors that caused this. Okay? Just saying. Again, when it's somebody that magnitude, if it's just some dude who robbed a liquor store, yeah, I'm willing to believe it because there's not a whole lot of international intrigue involved with this. But you're talking somebody who has basically blackmail and compromise on apparently Donald Trump, as well as many other wealthy, powerful, politically connected men, most likely white. So, let's look at the energy around the Epstein suicide, shall we? And see what the cards say. Come on down. What is the energy around Jeffrey Epstein on the night where he died? 5 of coins. Being abandoned, left out in the cold. It's certainly, I could make the argument that, camera's not working, guards falling asleep. But I think the establishment decided that he was no longer needed. Crossed with the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, interesting. And justice. Interesting. So if you're of the opinion that he's committed suicide, he was despondent because he was locked up. He lost his wealth. He lost his ability to be with women and children. And the law was going to catch up to him. If you're of the conspiracy mindset, he's been kicked out of the club, so to speak. And now they need to know what they're going to do with this asset. What's the most practical thing to do? Because you can't let him go to court and potentially expose people. Both interpretations are valid. In the past, you've got the 6 of Swords being sent up the river. His arrest is causing all sorts of ripples. And we're looking at calming things down. The current situation on the night of his death was it's almost like a messenger. There's patience. There's a delivery, a mercenary. This is also a mercenary card. So we've got that. I'll do a full reread on this. We got the payout, the offer, and the ending. All right. Low energy. Conspiracy theorists rejoice. Epstein's kicked out of the club. Now they need to know what to do with this because he's holding too much valuable information. We need to resolve this situation. We need to find somebody to do what we want. We will pay them well. Somebody found a volunteer to do it, and in they go to finish the job. Because you can't let Epstein talk about the people that would be impacted by this. Now, if Epstein were to commit suicide, then it's like, he's feeling like he's going to be destitute. He's never going to have his women and children again, if you know what I mean. The law is on him. He's gone up the river. He basically was given an opportunity to reveal what he knew. He considered the offer, but I think he felt the offer wasn't good enough and then offed himself. While more probable, that latter one, that makes no sense to me. Epstein was wealthy. He was powerful. He was politically connected. He had gotten a sweetheart deal in Florida and gotten off with a slap on the wrist. What makes you think he wasn't going to be able to do it again? What makes you think that he didn't think he'd be able to do it again? It's just like that one Senator Menendez in New Jersey. The arrogance. He had been busted for tax evasion, tax fraud, and got, I don't think it was acquitted. I think the case got tossed out on a technicality, and he went right back to it. Gold bars and all that. He got nailed the second time, and he's going to be in prison for several years. But, that's the mindset. I got away with it once, I'll get away with it again. I do not see Epstein committing suicide. Not while he still has a chance. You know what I mean? Like, if he had been convicted and they're going to lock him up and throw away the key and never let him out again, yeah, maybe that despondency might set in. Especially if, you got the general prison system taking turns as to who's going to get to shank the guy. But he wasn't even close to that yet. Not even remotely close to that stage. So that doesn't make any sense to me. I'm much more willing to believe that they found a patsy to do the job for them and then they paid that person. This orange blob that the DOJ was saying is a guard, is that actually the person that went up there and and unalive Jeffrey Epstein. Now, again, the coroners looked at this. I think the official statement was suicide, but Jeffrey Epstein's brother, his estate, hired another coroner to watch the autopsy and concluded that, and I think he said even that the person who did the autopsy concluded that this didn't look like a suicide, it looked like a murder. So, this orange shape, is this the person who's the mercenary? Is this the person that did the deed? The Hierophant, part of a bigger organization, and secrets being kept. The government knows, or there's an organization that has more information on this than they're letting on. Temperance, detoxification. These are some major arcana. Now here's the question. It may not be answering. Now, and this happens. When I look at this isn't making sense for my trite little question. I think this is answering a bigger question. And the question that I asked is this person in the orange jumpsuit the person that went up there and offed Epstein? I think the question they're asking is, or they're answering is, how big of a conspiracy was required in order to pull this off? You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, hiring a guy is one little data point in a big story of getting to that data point is where I'm going with it. So, government, secrets, trying to stop the damage that's on there. Big major arcana, big major arcana, big major arcana. You cannot let, government's like, you cannot let Epstein spill these secrets. We've got to do something. We've got to fix this problem. This is a huge problem. Eight of Coins. A lot of time and effort being put into this. More major arcana. Strength card. We got to keep this guy's mouth shut. We cannot let him talk. Plan put into place to stop that talking, because the government can't have these secrets spilt. It would be the undoing of people who have feathered their nests. We got to calm this situation down. We've got to prevent this information from getting out. Come up with a plan. We have an idea. I want you to count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major arcana out of 8 cards. I'm asking silly little questions like, well, was that orange blob basically the assassin? They just said, yeah, that's cute. That's a lovely little question here. Hey, let's tell you about the big government cover-up that led to that moment there. Basically, it's the Spirit's way of saying, "Durr, what do you think, dumbass?" Okay. I could ask the question again. I might get a more derp. Maybe I'll ask a different question. What else would you like us to know about this incident with Jeffrey Epstein? What else would you like us to know? Knight of Pentacles. They had their mission. They found their. I think they found their mercenary, their champion, and they couldn't let that information get out. Just it's almost like justice. Kind of funny from a victim's point of view. He got the justice he deserved, but the victims also never got their day in court, and that's the problem, right? Victims get their day in court. And this would have worldwide implications, looking at you, Prince Andrew. The World card, bringing this to an end. Finding somebody before this goes to court, and we got to bring this thing to an end. There are secrets that are there. We've got to put an end to those secrets. We cannot let these secrets out. We will do everything we can to stop it. We can't let these girls, these victims, be heard. And we've got to send this thing packing before there's too much attention on it. It's the victims. The victims need to be heard. They're trying to get away from the victims being heard. This whole Ms. Maxwell thing is trying to get the victims, prevent them from being heard. She wants to testify. Notice they're not having the victims testify. I just watched a TikTok about the grand jury records. Apparently, I don't think any of the victims testified with the grand juries. Or if there were, it was very few. It was mostly like a police detective and somebody else testifying in front of the grand jury. So for MAGA, they want to see, names being named and stuff like that. It's not there in the grand jury. How will they... Is Ms. Maxwell afraid of the same treatment? Asking if they're planning on doing the same with Ms. Maxwell. Or maybe more to the point, why hasn't the same thing been done to Ms. Maxwell? What's different? And maybe there's nothing different. Maybe it just hasn't happened yet. And I think I saw that Libby was doing a reading on that one. I haven't seen it yet. I just saw the title. But why hasn't this happened to Miss Maxwell yet? King of Swords. She might be better positioned. And it might be they can't have both of them go. Two of Wands, planning. I think the reason why is she's got better attorneys. She's in a better spot. She's in a spot where she can dictate terms. She got herself covered. She planned ahead, especially after what happened with Epstein. She planned ahead and she covered herself. She has protection. She has friends in high places protecting her. They didn't protect him, but they are protecting her. Again, if she was smarter or more wily and got data disseminated, evidence hidden, multiple sources type thing, I think Susan Lin was talking about that in one of her videos, that would protect her from this because they dare not hurt her, for they will be exposed type of thing. And they may not be able, I think maybe there's that understanding it's not realistic that they can get all the sources of data. They may be able to get some of them, but they can't guarantee they'll get all of them, and the fallout would be too horrific. So they would rather just cut her a deal and let her walk. And when I've read on that last, it sure looks like Trump is going to go that direction. And, screw MAGA and what they think, I guess, is going to be his opinion. He'll tell them what to think. All right, so conclusion. Yeah, I'm not really buying that he offed himself. It doesn't make logical sense. The data that they're showing to say that it couldn't possibly have happened is inconclusive at best. And the surrounding circumstances are really suspect. This is not something I would full-throatedly say, oh yeah, the government's not lying. They totally protected this guy. I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far at all. All right. Thank you everyone for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. We'll see how this all pans out. I hope you found this reading entertaining and insightful. Again, this is for entertainment purposes only. And I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.